Welcome into the final day of the group stage for Groups A, Groups B, and Group C. A lot of teams will be finding out if they're staying or if they're going today. In Group A, you have Czechia taking on the group winners, Mexico, and you have South Africa taking on South Korea. A lot still to be played for in that one. Can't wait to get into that. In Group B, it is Bosnia and Herzegovina going up against Qatar and Switzerland going up against Canada. Two massive matches as everything is still up for grabs there. And in Group C, it is Morocco going up against Haiti and Scotland going up against Brazil. Haiti is the only one that's been eliminated, so anybody can finish between first and third place. There's a lot to get to here in these 6 matches, so let's get after it. Welcome in to World Cup Preview, World Cup Today, here on the Nick Burt Sports Network. I am your host, as always, Nick Burt. We have 6 games to get to today. 3 groups finish up. There is going to be some incredible football to watch today. We're going to go in group order. I know they aren't in order of how they are played, but we're going in group order today. So Group A, as I mentioned, it is Czechia going up against Mexico and South Africa going up against South Korea. Both these games kick off 9 p.m. Of course, we are now at the point of the tournament where we have simultaneous kickoffs. Just to give you an idea of where we're at, Mexico has finished top of this group. So whatever happens today does not matter. They will be top of this group. They are currently on 6 points. They've won 2 out of 2. South Korea currently sit in second place. They are on 3 points. In third place, you have Czechia, who are on 1 point, and South Africa would be going home at this moment in fourth place on 1 point. The difference there is goal differential. At this point, given the first tiebreakers head-to-head in that game ended 1-1. Now for Mexico, I mean, they can do whatever they want to do in this game. There are no stakes for them. They already have their spot locked up in the round of 32. They already know they'll be playing in Mexico. They'll be good and fine. However, Czechia, of course, still fighting. They're on 1 point. Feels like they'd have to get full. It's going to be difficult for them just given they don't have the tiebreaker against South Korea either, but it feels like it needs to be a win at least for them to get that second place spot. They would, I believe, need help elsewhere between that South Korea and South Africa game. I believe the only way Czechia go through is with a win and a South Korea loss, because a South Korea draw has them level on points, tiebreaker head-to-head, which means South Korea go through. Czechia left there to wait to see if they get one of those 8 third-place spots. Rumors spreading that Memo Ochoa will be starting in net for Mexico in this one. I will be interested to see if that happens. I would love to see that happen, but truly, I don't know if that happens. Just because you're not playing for anything in this game doesn't mean you're just going to throw out anybody and everybody. I get it. We'll get into it tomorrow with the U.S. and yellow cards potentially and how you maybe rest players somewhere. That I get. I don't think you should be changing goalkeepers just for fun in the tournament. Now, again, it would be a brilliant story if it happened. I just don't see it happening. The South Africa-South Korea game is very interesting because South Korea go into that really only needing a draw, and they'll be fine. We saw South Africa look lost in the first game. Simple as that. They were lost. The 2 red cards, it was bad. The second game, they looked okay. Not great, not terrible, but they did get a late penalty that led them to get the equalizer against Czechia and at least get a point, keep their tournament hopes alive for now. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Heung-min's son has not had a great tournament, so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. You could say South Korea probably should have got a draw in the Mexico game, just given how that goal happened for Mexico. That game could have easily ended a 0-0 draw, but of course, alas, it did not. Overall, I do think the group ends the way that it's sitting right now. Obviously, Mexico finished top. I think South Korea finished second. I think they get at least a point against South Africa. Czechia will finish third, and in fourth will be South Africa, and they will be headed back home. The Bafana do not make it out of the group stage for, I believe, the fourth tournament they've been to, if I'm not mistaken, since the last one was 2010. It would be another group stage exit for the Bafana. For the Mexico game, I still think Mexico ends up winning that. Just kind of style points here. Would not surprise me in the least if they go out and win this game 2-3-1. Just to go out and give the Mexican fans some olays, hype them up. Because this Czechia team also has not looked phenomenal this tournament. They also had their moments where they looked completely lost. So interesting development there. We'll go next to Group B. These will be your first kickoffs of the day. You have Bosnia and Herzegovina taking on Qatar and Switzerland taking on Canada. Now, currently, the standings as they are, Canada sits top of this group on 4 points. Switzerland are in second on 4 points. Difference there is goal differential. Canada is at +6. Switzerland is +3. Obviously, if this game ends up in a draw, Canada wins this group. Now, third and fourth place, Bosnia and Qatar, third and fourth. Goal differential there is the inverse, of course. Bosnia is at -3. Qatar is -6. Now, we did see Canada throw up some style points just to get that goal differential to this point in the game against Qatar at BC Place, which is where this game will be later today, 3 p.m. kickoff, as I mentioned. Meanwhile, Bosnia and Qatar will be literally right down the road, as they'll be in Seattle. I believe those are the two closest stadiums, if not Philly and New York, New Jersey. It's one of the two closest stadiums at a World Cup. But this Qatar team they look as we expected them to look, to say the least. I know U.S. fans are already out there because if Bosnia win this game, there's a basically 99% chance that is who they will be playing in the round of 32. So I know they are rooting on the Bosnians here. If Qatar wins, it becomes sketchy there because Qatar, even on 4 points, I believe they would be on, that goal differential does not help. And if we got a mix of teams with 4 points, Qatar is going to be one of those at the bottom that might get cut just because that goal differential is putrid. Overall, though, I do think Bosnia get the job done. They get their first win of this World Cup. This game doesn't feel like it's ending a draw, although there's a real good chance. Bosnia held as long as they could against Switzerland, and then basically after that second half hydration break, the dam broke and they were done. And that's when they ended up losing 4-1. For Qatar, they can't score. It's as simple as that. Their one goal this tournament came on an own goal. We didn't really expect anything less from this Qatar team, to say the least. I am very, very intrigued how this Switzerland-Canada game is going to play out, because for all intents and purposes, Switzerland has not looked the greatest this tournament, and nor has Canada. You can only put so much stock into a 6-0 victory against Qatar. I more look at the Bosnia game. Yes, they had their moments, but they still struggled mightily at points. I feel like Switzerland are going to play a similar game to what Bosnia did. Very defensive. Obviously, Canada without Ismail Kone, again, terrible injury. Obviously, he's not playing the rest of this World Cup. Sounds like Alphonso Davies not starting, potentially playing though, from what has been seen. I don't love that idea. Just the fact that, he's still not 100% healthy is not great. Moises Bombito, we saw him play against Qatar. He had 45 minutes in that game. It wasn't terrible, but he still got some minutes out there. Davies still has not played this tournament. But Maxime Crépeau has had a decent tournament. I know he didn't face a lot of shots against Qatar, but against Bosnia, he did quite well. And the top two duo has to be Kyle Larin and Jonathan David. Again, I know it was against Qatar, but you have to run that back again. Honestly, I know you have to change it because of Ismail Kone. There should be no other changes in this starting 11 come 3 p.m. today. This Canada team, although I do think they want to play for a win, truly I think they'll be playing for a draw, if we're completely honest. I know that's not the style that Jesse Marsch plays, but kind of feels like they will be playing for a draw in this one, because a draw gets you basically what you wanted. You win the group. First time ever you advance on to the knockout stage and you won a group as a host nation. Feel like that is what is bound to happen in this one. And then, like I said, Bosnia, I think, get the win against Qatar, leaving the group as Canada winning the group, Switzerland in second, Bosnia in third, and then in fourth would be Qatar, headed home once again, and Bosnia would be another one of those teams just sitting and waiting, depending on what goal differential ends up being. Could be a long wait for them. It could be a short wait. If they put up 6 on Qatar, they'll probably be fine. And they will know they'll be at the San Francisco Bay Area Stadium on July 1st going up against the United States. And finally, we get to Group C. This is 6 p.m. kickoff, so this is between your Group B and Group C, or Group A action, I should say. It's Group C. Morocco and Haiti and Scotland and Brazil. 6 p.m. kickoffs. As it stands right now, Brazil, top of this group, 4 points. Morocco, 4 points in second place. Goal differential there is in play. As Brazil is +3, Morocco is +1. Scotland currently sit in third on 3 points. They have a 0 goal differential. And Haiti have been eliminated from this tournament. They currently have 0 points. Now, I said in the lead up to this tournament, if you are Morocco, this is a perfect situation for you because you are playing the worst team in this group in the final game, and goal differential could be crucial. I can easily see Morocco putting up 2 or 3. I know they only put up 1 against Scotland, and Haiti only conceded 1 against Scotland. So I think we'll see a different tempo from this Morocco team. I know they don't play fast, but it feels like they'll know that they have to get something done here if they want to win this. And I think we see them do that. The bigger question for me is, how is that Scotland-Brazil game going to play out? Because Brazil haven't looked phenomenal this tournament. They haven't looked bad. They just haven't looked phenomenal. Scotland just lacks scoring power, it seems. That plus them playing in Miami, Miami Gardens at the Miami Stadium. How are the Scots going to handle what I'm assuming will be terrible humidity? That is going to be quite interesting because the Morocco-Haiti game is at the Atlanta Stadium, which of course is a dome, which of course means it's air conditioned. So 2 very differing weather conditions here for both of these sides. Now, as much as I want to take Scotland here, they're not winning this game. There is no chance. I can see this maybe ending a draw, but if you look back at the history, Brazil has dominated the history. These sides have faced off 4 times at a World Cup, 1998, 1990, 82, and 74. Only one of those games ended a draw, and that was back in 74. Brazil won in 82, 4-1. They won 1-0 in 1990, and they won 2-1 in 98. All the cards are stacked against this Scotland team. I think their best bet is going to be parking the bus, basically. Just sitting back, making stops. I don't know if they'll be able to make those stops, but that seems to be the best course of action for Scotland to at least get a point here. If they get a point, they will still probably be sitting in third place. But if you get a point, 4 points, I'm pretty sure is going to almost guarantee that you are on to the round of 32. And I believe that would put you against Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. Now, going down to Mexico, playing at the Azteca, is not going to be easy for whichever team most likely finishes third here, and that's probably going to be Scotland. It's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. I am, like I said, worried about this Scottish team just in that humidity of Miami. I think Brazil take advantage of that because that is going to be kind of familiar weather for them in Brazil. I think they end up winning this game, but I don't think it's enough for them to win the group. I do think Morocco obviously beat Haiti. I think they get enough of a goal differential bump in this game that they will overtake Brazil because their game ended 1-1. So you take out the first tiebreaker of head-to-head. You go to the next one, which is goal differential. Morocco wins this group, I think. Brazil will finish second, Scotland third, and of course Haiti already eliminated, finish fourth. Overall, though, we are in for 3 incredible games, or 3 incredible endings to group games here at the World Cup today. Truly, my game of the day is that Switzerland-Canada game. That is going to be quite the intriguing matchup because I don't know how Canada want to play this game. Knowing that a draw wins you the group, do you go out there and park the bus for 90 minutes? Yeah, it's going to be completely enjoyable to watch, but you at least win your first ever World Cup group, kind of have an easier run. I know they're not probably going far, but I believe your first 2 games would be in Canada if you win this group. That would be absolutely massive for this Canadian team, which kind of seems to only be getting better and better game by game. I think we saw that at the last World Cup. Obviously, they didn't do much with that, but if Canada can get a win against Switzerland, that is the biggest win in Canadian soccer history. I know they won the 2000 Gold Cup, and that's the only trophy they have, basically. But if you get a win against Switzerland, a game in Canada, and, there will be pressure on the team playing at home, but a win against Switzerland to win you a group in the World Cup on home soil, honestly, that's bigger to me than what a Gold Cup would be. I know that's a continental trophy, but this is what Jesse Marsch has been building to, and this is his shining moment, basically. Take it by the hands. And again, with the way Switzerland has played, I would not be surprised if Canada get a victory here. With that being said, that wraps up this preview for this day 14 of the World Cup. We are 2 weeks into this thing, and I think there's only like 3 left. It's hard to believe. And with the group stage almost coming to an end, that means we're almost at the knockouts. It's just hard to believe this tournament is flying by. So thank you so much for watching this episode here on the Nick Bird Sports Network. We'll be back with you, preview the next matches tomorrow morning, of course. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it. Given kick times, there's potential for a recap episode at the end of the day today. We'll see how that plays out. But lot of great football coming later today. So make sure you tune into all of it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you click the notification button after you subscribe so you know when all these videos drop. We will see you again very soon for another episode, either World Cup recap or World Cup preview here on the Nick Burt Sports Network.